It started with a single sentence. Boston Public Library, April 2022. I was sitting on the third floor in the Bates reading room, my usual spot for Saturday mornings. I'm not particularly social, and after a breakup the winter before, books had become my safest place. That day, I pulled out an old paperback copy of The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Its spine was cracked, pages yellowed. A faint smell of dust and rain clung to it. Somewhere around page 47, I noticed it. In the narrow margin, next to a line about Esther's loneliness, someone had written in tiny, neat handwriting. Funny how we all pretend we're not lonely. D. I paused. That line felt honest. Raw. Like a stranger had confessed something to me, and I was the only one listening. Without really thinking, I took out my own pen and wrote underneath. We're not very good at pretending. K. I closed the book, heart strangely light, and returned it to the shelf. A week later, curiosity tugged me back. Same section, same shelf, same cracked spine. I opened the Bell Jar and flipped to page 47. Underneath my reply, a new note had been added. Didn't expect a reply. Kind of made my week. D. That was the beginning. Over the next few weeks, we kept writing. Always in pencil. Always in the margins. Sometimes we picked other books. Catcher in the Rye, Norwegian Wood. Even Goodnight Moon once, just for fun. Always the same shelf. Always signed D and K. It was like having a secret friend who somehow understood you better than the people in your real life. One message still sticks in my mind. I had left a note in a movable feast. Do you think it's possible to love someone you've never met? The answer came 2 days later. Yes, but it would take a hell of a lot of courage. D. That was the first time I realized I wanted to meet him. But I didn't say anything yet. Not until the day the book disappeared. By early June, the notes had become a ritual. Work was still dull, life was still quiet, but those margin exchanges, they made me feel seen. And the strange part, I missed him when I didn't write for a while. Him. D. A man I had never even met. That Saturday, I came in a little later than usual. Rain had just started outside, soft, cold, a real Boston summer kind of day. I headed straight to our shelf, but the bell jar was gone. Not just misplaced, gone. I checked the cart, the returns bin, even asked the woman at the info desk. She said, if it's not on the shelf, it may have been pulled. Or checked out. My heart sank. I left the library without even sitting down. 3 days later, I found a note. Not in a book. Not in the fiction section. Taped. Yes, actually taped to the underside of a long wooden desk in the far reading alcove, where the Wi-Fi was terrible and no one ever sat. It read, Bell jar is gone. Thought I lost you. If you're still out there, meet me here next Tuesday. 4 p.m. D. I folded the note so tightly it nearly tore. I didn't answer right away. I wanted to. I ached to. But I kept thinking, what if he sees me and changes his mind? What if this was only special because we didn't meet? What if we ruin it? I waited until Monday. Then I came back. Left my own message, written on the back of a library map, slid under the same desk. I'll be there. K. Tuesday felt like waiting for a storm. I wore something simple, a navy cardigan, jeans, and the boots my ex used to call too serious. My hands wouldn't stop sweating. Every time the door creaked, I jumped. At 4:07 p.m., someone sat across from me. He had a book, something beat up, maybe Franny and Zoe. He didn't look up right away. His hair was messy, like he'd rushed. Black coat, backpack with a frayed zipper, nervous fingers tapping on the desk. And then he looked up. Are you K? He asked, soft but certain. I smiled, maybe too wide. You're late, I said. I got held up. Didn't want to run and look sweaty, he grinned. I'm Daniel. Kate. We shook hands and didn't let go for a long, quiet moment. That first meeting didn't feel like a beginning. It felt like coming home. We stayed at that desk for hours, talking, laughing, hesitating sometimes. Both of us so used to saying everything in margins, we had to learn how to speak face to face. He told me he was a freelance illustrator, mostly working from coffee shops, rarely talking to anyone outside of clients and his mom. I told him I worked in marketing, hated small talk, and that I once wrote him a letter in Goodnight Moon because I was having a bad day and needed to feel like someone was listening. I read that one 3 times, he said. We didn't kiss that day, didn't even hug, but we agreed, without really saying it, to keep seeing each other. Our second date was back at the library. We sat by the poetry section, reading our favorite lines to each other out loud. It was awkward, kind of perfect. Then we started bringing each other coffee, then books, then playlists. The anonymous note stopped, but we still wrote each other, now in real letters, mailed with real stamps, even though we lived less than a mile apart. One night in October, as leaves turned the sidewalks gold and orange, we were walking past the library. Daniel paused. Want to see something? He led me inside, even though it was 5 minutes to closing. The staff knew us by now. We weren't just regulars. We were them. We walked up to the same 3rd-floor shelf. And there it was, the bell jar, back in circulation. He reached for it, opened it to page 47, and there, still faint but legible, were our first messages. Funny how we all pretend we're not lonely. D. We're not very good at pretending. K. He handed me a pen. I stared at him, confused. Then he knelt. From his coat pocket, he pulled out a tiny ring box, wrapped in a folded library map. I gasped. You're joking. He smiled. Only if you say no. I didn't say anything. Just cried, nodded, whispered, yes, over and over like a prayer. Then I opened the book and wrote. Some stories start in the margins. Ours just kept turning pages. K and D.